Hey guys, welcome back to Doozy Talks with Susie. Today, I'm sharing a video I wish someone had made for me. So, if you've ever felt anxious, jittery, or just emotionally drained after drinking coffee, but you keep going back to it anyway, it might explain why. Especially if you've looked into your genes and learned that you maybe have this set of genes, there's COMT-HFR or MAOA mutations. They do the acronyms for really big words that are not that important. They are important, but they're not that important. Just understanding that you have them may be beneficial. So if you've looked into these genes, I've done the same, and let me tell you, giving up caffeine has not been easy. And I say has not because I'm telling you every day it is a struggle. But it was one of the best things I started doing for my mood, my energy, mental clarity, and even for my sleep. And my goodness, I gotta tell you my old routine. I would tell you all of it right now in story. Hold on, let's tell the whole routine, my old routine, what I used to do. So let's paint a picture of what my old routine used to look like. I would wake up groggy, and immediately the first thing I go to is the coffee pot. I turn on the coffee pot, make a big 12-cup coffee pot. I would completely fill that thing up, and I would drink the entire thing, maybe not 2 lines worth. I might leave a little bit. And that would usually come out to about 3 good-sized cups of coffee. And I loaded up with flavored creamer, and it was basically my lifeline. It was the only thing that helped me feel functional in the morning and actually throughout the day. I'll tell you how this goes. First thing in the morning, I drink 1 cup of coffee, sometimes 2. And then I get to my lunch break time and I drink another cup of coffee. And I hope that's going to last me through the rest of the afternoon and my workout because I would work out in the evening. And then I would try to sleep at night. If my lunchtime coffee didn't last, then I would have another cup of coffee before my workout as a pre workout. And it was just this constant every day. I'm crashing every 3 hours, and then I would need more. My mood would tank. I'd be foggy, tired, irritable. Sorry, people. And somehow I was still restless. I kept thinking I needed more coffee, which then is this crazy cycle. And not realizing it was actually contributing to the roller coaster I was on. And I'm telling you, I did this for years. Not 4 years like that, 4 years, 10 years, 12 years, trying to figure out, dude, what is going on? I just need more coffee. And side note on that, I actually started realizing if I drink a little more water, I know this probably sounds like deja vu to some people because if you're drinking coffee, you're dehydrating yourself because of the caffeine, so you should drink more water. Yes, that should be deja vu. I should have already known that, but I didn't know it. And I did drink water, but when I sit down and I do the calculations of how much caffeine I was consuming in comparison to how much water I was drinking, the ratios were pretty off and caffeine was definitely winning. So, side note, bonus note on that. Maybe drink a little extra water. But so then I went and got my methylation genes tested. And the methylation genes basically, those help use some of the vitamins and transfer them into usable nutrients for your body to use to keep you healthy. And so I went and got these tested along with my detox genes. And then things started to click because I started really diving deep into all of my DNA analysis. And I start learning about this COMT mutation, or you'll also hear it referred to as COMT, because that's a lot easier to say is COMT than COMT, and hope that everybody understands. COMT mutation. So I was especially diving into the Valmet version, which was really the best. That's the one I've got. And it was really cool because there's 3 different types. All right, you've got Valmet, which was mine, and then Met. And the one that's Met is very slow. Valmet is medium, and then Val means your body processes chemicals really fast. So COMT helps break down, and I'll make other videos on this as well. COMT helps break down certain of your hormones, specifically estrogen and dopamine and norepinephrine. So when you have a fast one, the val, your body's going to break down those super fast. And that's cool. But then you may end up realizing that you're kind of low on those because you don't have enough. Your body just uses them up really fast. And if it's met, then that means your body is hanging on to it much longer than it should. You may find yourself with estrogen dominance and maybe too much dopamine in your body because your body isn't able to break it down fast enough. So mine is in the middle, but that's what makes it fun. Mine is Valmet, so it would be kind of medium, which is probably what some people would consider more ideal if you have to choose one or the other. But so when someone like me drinks caffeine, these chemicals will start piling up in the brain. The stress chemicals, because those take a little bit longer to break down, they pile up in the brain and they take much longer to clear. And that leads to things like anxiety, irritability, racing thoughts, insomnia, which is poor sleep, and even emotional dysregulation. So, what happened for me is I was dealing with all of those. I thought I just had, I don't know, emotional problems. I didn't realize I could actually deal with it and work on it. So, I also found out that I have a MAOA mutation, which further slows down the breakdown of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. And I have this MTHFR mutation that impairs methylation, making detoxification slower. So basically, while I have the gene mutation of T that's in the middle, I have all of these other gene mutations that are making it even more difficult for the COMT to work and do what it needs to do, which kind of sends me into the slower version of COMT, even though I don't have that gene mutation. What's fortunate is I can do certain things and help support my body to be able to function more normal. So things started finally making sense. And I was like, dude, my body's just overwhelmed. I'm not broken. I'm not super crazy. My body's overwhelmed. And I needed to figure out how to help support it. And I went into what's one basic thing I can do, and that was give up caffeine. Now, understand I've been drinking caffeine since I was 18, so a good 13 years of caffeine. Technically, I was drinking it longer than that. Let's change that. I've been drinking caffeine almost my whole life because I didn't start drinking coffee till I was 18, but I was drinking a lot of sodas before 18. So I don't drink sodas much anymore. I don't know the last. Dr. Pepper is the best soda out there. I just don't know the last time I drank it. It's been years. So, anyways, the best thing to do was, among other things that I can make another video on, was to give up caffeine. But let me tell you, the withdrawal was rough. My first goal was completely cut out caffeine, just cold turkey, get rid of it, and figure something else out. And that was very rough. And I also had this morning routine that I really enjoyed. So I was like, dude, there's got to be something. And there are certain teas you can drink, like chicory tree root tea, but I don't want to try that one. And there's some other ones as well that I was like, no, I don't like, I want the coffee flavor. So I decided to compromise and go with decaf coffee because decaf coffee, instead of having 100 grams of 100 milligrams of caffeine, I only get about 5 milligrams of caffeine, and that's much better. And my body can handle that. But going through the first week was awful. I'll tell you, it was rough. I had headaches, I had brain fog, I had mood swings, and I even might have cried for no reason. I felt like I was falling, and I had this one persistent thought in my head. It was just one cup. You just need one real cup of coffee, and you'll feel so much better. It was almost like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was such a major temptation to just go back. And I don't mean temptation, drinking coffee is a sin, but that's almost what it felt like. Like, dude, just go get one more cup of coffee. And every time I go back to drinking a cup of coffee, every time I give into it, I pay for it. And I end up going right back into that same loop of I have the high, then I crash, and sometimes I don't even feel the high. I have this unexplainable, jittery, crazy feeling, but then I also have an energy crash and I feel terrible every time I go back to drinking normal coffee. And then my sleep is messed up, and the dependency on the caffeine is just, ugh, it's awful. And the difference is amazing. And I can recognize it now. I didn't used to think it before. I used to think I didn't have any problems. I was like, no, I'm fine. I don't need to give up the caffeine. I'm fine. I can manage it. But I notice it every time. And I don't judge myself as much. I just try it. Nope, same song, second verse. It's kind of as you start to learn, maybe you have an intolerance to certain food. And then you're like, oh my goodness, but it was so good back in the day as a kid. And I was eating this. I loved it. I know it might hurt my stomach or make my face turn funny colors, but I just got to try it. And then you try that food again that is your body can't tolerate. And then, oh no, your stomach starts hurting and your face turns funny colors. And you're like, oh snap. It looks like I still have that intolerance. So that's kind of how I treat it now. Is I kind of just have this intolerance going on. So instead of completely cold turkey and coffee, I just rebuilt my caffeine and I swapped the usual coffee for the decaf organic coffee. I've heard of something about what is it called? Because there's this new thing going around that coffee grounds actually could potentially have mold in it. So you want to get the mold free coffee. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I haven't gone to coffee, I don't know, manufacturing plants to verify. So I don't worry too much about it. And then, so I drink my decaf coffee, but then I throw in some collagen peptides. For the collagen peptides have glycine in it, and they also help support the gut. And the glycine helps calm things down. It helps calm down your body, the neurotransmitters, and my morning coffee. First thing in the morning, I'll also use some MCT rich coconut oil so that I have some steady brain feel going on for my brain. And here's the fun one. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday about this, and I told her, I was like, dude, I have tried almost every milk out there. And she has too, because her and I are both on a similar journey. And what's tricky is we're not the same people. So what works for me may not work for her. And I was telling her, I was like, look, I tried almond milk, oat milk, what else? Coconut milk. And I've tried cow's milk, and nothing seemed to be working. Then I spoke to this other friend a few weeks ago, and she was like, have you tried raw A2 milk from cows? And I said, not since I was a child. My mom used to buy that kind. And she said, that might be the trick. And I'm thinking, I actually didn't have problems with it when I was a kid. I was okay. And it was probably that. So grocery stores have to pasteurize the milk in order to sell it. But there are different levels of pasteurized. And the least pasteurized was the vat pasteurized milk. And that means they heat it to a very low temperature and then they'll package it. Most the other types that are ultra pasteurized or pasteurized, those ones are heated at very high temperatures. It kills all the germs and a lot of the good nutrients. We want to keep the good nutrients. Vat pasteurized maintains most of the good nutrients. So I started trying that one to help with better digestion, get more nutrients into my morning cup of coffee. So now my cup of coffee is amazing. And then while we're on the subject of this COMT mutation, I also started supporting my nervous system with glycine, magnesium. I'll do silent prayer every day. And all of this, it helps me feel more grounded without needing the caffeine. And it took a few weeks, but now I wake up feeling energized without the crash, and my mood stays steady throughout the day if I maintain my normal routine. If I decide, oh, I think I'm going to buy myself a coffee today, well, I'm going to end up with problems. I'm going to end up with the crash. If I skip out on taking my supplements, I'm going to end up with a crash or mood instability. So if you have been feeling off and coffee might be part of it, don't be afraid to ask questions. You don't have to quit overnight. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be curious and compassionate with your body. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how I make my gene-friendly morning coffee, the one that actually supports my nervous system and gives me calm, steady energy all day. So I'll see you there.